जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन जय व्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन जय व्रजजन रंजन यमुनातिरवनचारी जय कुंद विहारी यमुनातिरवनचारी जय कुंद विहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम
राम राम हरे
हरे कृष्णा
कृष्ण
कृष्णा कृष्णा
कृष्ण
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे
हरे हरे
हरे राम हरे राम
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 राम हरे हरे
हरे
हरे कृष्णा
कृष्ण हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्ण
कृष्णा हरे हरे
हरे
हरे
राम
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 हरे हरे हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे
हरे
राम
हरे राम
राम
राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
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 कृष्ण कृष्ण
कृष्ण हरे
राम
हरे राम हरे राम राम
राम
राम हरे राम
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम
हरे
हरे
राम हरे
राम
राम राम
राम
राम हरे राम
हरे
हरे कृष्ण
कृष्ण
हरे
हरे
कृष्ण
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 कृष्ण हरे
कृष्ण
हरे हरे
हरे
राम हरे
राम
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 राम हरे हरे
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna,
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Krishna Krishna,
कृष्ण हरे
Hare
राम
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
राम
Ram, Hare
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Hare
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Krishna Hare Hare,
हरे
Hare
राम
Ram, Hare
राम
Ram,
राम
Ram
राम
Ram, Hare Hare.
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
राम
Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
कृष्ण
Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
हरे राम
Rama
राम
Rama, Hare Rama.
हरे
Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Mani Sudarsana, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, जय सुभद्रा माई सुंदरी श्यामा जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी जय राधा माधव राधा माधव श्री राधे जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ श्री राधे जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ श्री राधे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर श्री राधे जय राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधा कृष्ण चंद्र श्री राधे राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधा कृष्ण चंद्र श्री राधे राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर श्री राधे राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर श्री राधे जय गौरांगिता 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 जय 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 प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
हरे
I
कृष्ण
think
प्रभु।
Hare Krishna. I will start. Slowly devotees will join.
यस प्रभु।
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayasho Bhadresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोविश्वं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदाम्यं ददाति स्वप्नान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं श्रीजीवं साद्वैतं सार्वभौतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीशाकान्तस्य हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे। So today we are going to discuss 47, 48, 49 shloka of 13th chapter of 4th canto. I will project the shloka shortly and then we'll start reciting slowly. Hmm. 47th shloka. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. एवं स निर्विण्णमना नृपो गृहः निश्चित उत्थाय महोदयोदयात् अलब्धनिद्रानुलक्षितो नृभिः हृत्वा गतो वेन सुवं प्रसुप्ताम्. Word to one translation by syllable. Evam, the sah, he, nirvinnamanha, being indifferent in mind, nrupaha, king anga, gruhat, from whom, nischite, in the dead of night, nisite, in dead of night, utthaya, getting up. Maha Udaya Udayat, opulent by blessing of great souls. Alabdha Nidraha, being without sleep. Anupalakshitaha, without being seen. Drubihi, by people in general. Hitva, giving up. Gataha, went up. Venaswam, the mother of Vena. Prasuptam, sleepy, sleeping deeply. Translation. Thinking like that, King Anga could not sleep at night. He became completely indifferent to household life. Once, therefore, in dead of night, he got up from the bed and left Vena's mother, that is his wife, who was sleeping deeply. He gave up all attraction for his greatly opulent kingdom, and unseen by anyone, he very silently gave up his home and opulence and proceeded towards the forest. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In this word, Mahadayodayat indicates that by blessings of great soul, one becomes materially opulent. But when one gives up attachment to material wealth, that should be considered as even a greater blessings from the Vedas. It was not very easy task for king to give up his opulent kingdom and young faithful wife, but it was certainly a great blessings of Supreme Personality of Godhead that he could give up the attachment and go to the forest without being seen by anyone. Therefore, many instances of great souls leaving home in this way in the dead of night, giving up the attachment for home, wife, and money. Second sloka for today, 40th sloka. विज्ञाय निर्विद्यं गतं प्रतिं प्रजाः पुरोहितामात्य सुहृदाणानां दयाः विचिक्युरुक्याम् अतिशोककतराः यथा निगूढं पुरुषं कुयोगिनाः. Word to word translation. Vijnana, after understanding. Vijnaya, after understanding. Nirvidya, being indifferent. Gatam, had left. Patim, the king. Prajaha, all the citizens. Purohita, priests. Amatya, ministers. Sauruda, friends. Guna Adaya, people in general. Vichikyuha, search. Urivyam, on the earth. Atishloka Kataraha, being greatly aggrieved. Yata, just as. Nigudam, concealed. Purusham, the super soul. Kuyogina, inexperienced mystics. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. When it was understood that king had indifferently left home, all citizens, priests, ministers, friends, and people in general were very greatly aggrieved. They began to search for him all over the world, just as the less experienced mystics searches out the super soul within himself. Purport. The example of searching for super soul within the heart by less intelligent mystic is very instructive. The absolute truth is understood in three different pictures, namely impersonal Brahma, localized Paramatma, and Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a ku-yoginaha or less intelligent mystic can, by mental speculation, reach the point of impersonal Brahma, but they cannot find the super soul who is sitting within each living entity. When the king left, it was very certain that he was staying somewhere else, but because the citizens did not know how to find him, they were frustrated like the least intelligent mystics. अलक्ष्यन्तः पदवीं प्रजापते हर्तोद्यतमाः प्रसुत्ते पुरीं ऋषिण सेमितानम् अभिविदन्त्य सहस्रो नवेदनयन पौरव भर्तु विप्लवम्. Word to word translation by Srila Prabhupada. Alakshayantaha, not finding. Padavim, any trace. Prajapatehe, of King Anga. Hata Uddamaha, having become disappointed. Pratyuprashtya, after returning. take those citizens, bring to the city, Rishin, the great sage. Sametan assembled. Abhivandya, after being making respectful obeisances, Sahasraya with tears in his eyes, Navadeyam informed. Paurava Ovidura, brought through the king, Viplavam, the absent. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. When citizens could not find any trace of king after searching for him everywhere, they were very disappointed and they returned to the city where all the great sages of the country assembled because of king's action. With tears in their eyes, the citizens offered respective obeisances and informed the sages in full detail that they were unable to find the king anywhere. Thinking like that, King Anga could not sleep at night. He became completely indifferent to household life. Once, therefore, in the dead of night, he got up from the bed and left Vedang's mother, who was sleeping deeply. He gave up all attraction to his greatly opulent kingdom, and unseen by anyone, he very silently gave up his home and opulence and proceeded towards the forest. When it was understood that King had indifferently left home, all the citizens, priests, ministers, friends, and people in general were greatly aggrieved. They began to search for him all over the world, just as the less experienced mystic searches out for soul within himself. When the citizens could not find any trace of the king after searching for him everywhere, they were very disappointed and they returned to the city where all the great sages of the country assembled because of king's action. With tears in their eyes, the citizens offered respective obeisances and informed the sages in full detail that they were unable to find any king anywhere. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srinare Jai Pataka Swami Niti Namane Namo Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Padayine Gaura Patadamadayane Grama Tarine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Sasati Deve Gaurvani Prachari Mini Vishesh Chandavadi Pashatya Dishatanine Namo Madanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gostasya Namo Namo Brahmane Devaya Go Brahmane Hitai Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Asari Gaur Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Welcome devotees. Thanks for your time. So today we are discussing these three shlokas. So basically, if you recall, we are discussing the story of King Vena, who is the son of King Anga. That story will follow, but what we have been discussing till date is Dhruva Maharaj went to Vaikuntha planet. His next, some few generations further, that description is given. The next generations further, there were many kings. And one of the Manu also came, Chakshusu Manu also came there. And then it continued. Then we are at a King Anga, who was actually one of the king. He did not have son. So he was beat. He was doing yajna. He was very pious king, very devotee of Lord. Pious king, but he did not have son, and he was doing Ashwamedh yajna, but he did not have son. So demigods and others says, oh, you should have son, so that how you will be liberated from this bondage. So then he prayed to the Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, and he got a son. But to his surprise, although in material world this is not surprise, surprises keeps coming. But to his surprise, the king Vena was not a very good person. He was a demoniac tendency, evil person. He used to kill his friends. He used to kill animals unnecessarily. He used to insult the saintly people. He was not interested in varnasrama, and he was doing whatever he want, and people were not happy. King Anga was very unhappy with this. Distress. It is not even unhappy, it's a distress because After a long time, he got a son, and such a son who was sort of demonic. So he was very aggrieved by that, and he could not tolerate that pain. So this shloka continues. He was thinking what to do. He was thinking, oh my God, why I got this sort of son? If you get a pious son, devotee son, then you are lucky. You are blessed. But if you get a son who is not devotee, who is actually cause of all distress to others as well as to his father, he was thinking why Lord Krishna would have given this, you know, so-called benediction to him. And that's the topic. Generally, when we worship Lord, we get some material opulence because we worship for material opulences sometimes. Sometimes we worship for devotion, but very rarely we worship for pure devotion. We generally have tendency to worship Lord for the pious, for the getting some benefit, material benefit. Oh, I should get money, should have good health, good family, this, blah, blah. So he was, and Lord gives that. King Anga was wondering why it happened that I asked for a good son and I got. So then he slowly realizes that no, it is a Lord's plan. Ultimately, everything is Lord's plan. Whatever we get, whatever we get by mercy of Lord only. Of course, laws of karma are there. Whatever you get materially, whatever you lose materially, happiness, distress, it's all due to our own karma. But there is the Lord is ultimate sanctioning authority. So one may say, oh, if you do good, you will get good. If you do bad, you will get bad karma. Then where is the question of Lord here? I have done good, I will get good. I have done bad, I will get good. But Shastras clarify that it's not like that. There is always Lord's supervision. Maya dakshana prakriti suyate characharam. Under my supervision, this prakriti means Maya or this material world, works under my adhyakshana means supervision. So there is always Lord's supervision, Lord's sanction is there. Then only something gets sanctioned. So we should not think that we are independent even by karmic, getting the results of karma. No. We will get whatever we want definitely. We will get whatever we have done the karmas accordingly, but there is a sanction of Lord. But Lord doesn't intervene most of the time. Lord intervenes only in the life of his devotees. Now, this is very important. King Anga was descendants of Dhruva Maharaja and he was devotee. He was pious person, good person. So Lord will never leave good person. Whenever Lord sees there is even a slight traces of devotional service in somebody, or there is a slight possibility that this soul will come to him, come to Lord, then Lord will make arrangement in such a way that he will slowly go towards Lord. Because this whole material world is created by Lord with the purpose of claiming or purpose of calling, purpose of getting all those souls back to Godhead, back to spiritual world. Why? Because Lord is concerned about us. Lord loves us. We also love Lord whenever we understand about Him. But since we have forgotten that love us. And we have forgotten that we love Lord and we are supposed to have relationship with loving relationship, servitor relationship, service as servitor and servant relationship with Lord. So we forget that. But Lord never forgets us. Lord will be there along with us in the form of super soul. Brahman is there outside our material world. And Lord is there as a Bhagwan and He is there everywhere. So Lord is witnessing all our activities. Lord is witnessing all our karma, karmic actions. Now, if somebody is not really inclined towards Lord, somebody want independence from the Lord. Somebody say, no, I am independent, Lord is different. Lord reciprocates accordingly. Of course, still He is loving us, still He is taking care of us by giving the material benefits, material world, facilitating us, giving lot of body, mind, all this, everything is given by Lord. So it's working under Lord. So Lord is helping us even though we don't want, but that's at a very neutral platform. Okay, fine. This soul need to be taken care of. Lord has to take care of all the living entities. So He takes care. So that is going on. But so if you maintain the neutral relationship with Lord, no, okay, Lord is there. Some people say Lord is not there at all. That is demon. But some people say, oh, Lord is there, but I don't have much thing to do with it. I am independent. Lord is okay there. I am also there. So this is most of the people. Or so in that case, laws of karma works for them, and whatever good, whatever bad comes back in the form of good and bad to them, and life continues for them. They keep changing the bodies. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi, janma mrityu jara vyadhi. He keeps rotating in the 84 lakh species of life, and life goes on for them. But when we, by mercy of Lord, by mercy of devotee, we understand, no. Material world is not supposed to be for me. I am different. My soul is different. I am not this material body. This happens by mercy of devotee only. By some agyat security we are done. Somewhere in past life we have done some good karmas. The karmas related to devotion, spirituality. We get remembrance from the Lord that, oh, I'm uh, supposed to live the life of spiritual, like I'm not supposed to be materialistic person or material life. This happens by remembrance. And of course, there is a human birth given in between in the 84 lakhs species. And in human birth, there is the opportunity, there is enough opportunity, facilitation by Lord's through His Prakriti to understand who am I? What is my relationship with Lord? What is my duties towards Lord? Who is Lord? Like that. And this happens by mercy of Lord. So, the point here is when we decide, when we have slight tendency, slight desire to connect with Lord, to understand who is Lord, to understand who am I, to establish that relationship with Lord of loving relationship, Lord will reciprocate to you accordingly. That's why Lord has given so many scriptures, Bhagavatams, Bhagavad Gita, Vedas, Puranas, so much philosophical knowledge. He sends his representatives to remind people like us that, oh, you are Lord's person, you are not Maya's person. So Lord always gives that facility. And whenever we develop that slightest desire, then our Lord will reciprocate. How Lord will reciprocate is what exactly is happening in the case of Anga, King Anga. King Anga connected with Lord. He was knowing who is Lord. He was devotee of Lord at least to some extent. Then he wanted son, so Lord gave him son. But Lord gave him material opulence. But son turned out to be very devilish. Of course, it's not that every time Lord will give us this sort of thing. Because if you ask something, Lord will give you. Lord will give so-called materially good opulent things also. But as a special favor to devotees, which Anga was having that stage of life where he was almost getting liberated. He has matured in his spiritual life. So Lord gave him in such a way that he forgot. He hated, or rather, I will not use the word hate. He sort of became indifferent. That's the Prabhupada used that word. Indifferent means I don't care about this material world. He became indifferent to this material world. He became detached. Indifferent means detached means what do you mean by detachment to material world? Means you are no longer having so much attachment, having so many fantasies about this material world. What are our fantasies or what is our attachment in material world and why it is there? We want to enjoy the senses. We want to enjoy the life. We want to enjoy the senses. We want to enjoy our indriyas, including mind. And we do the karma to achieve that. We do karma, right? We work in office, we have family, we do this, we do that. We do good activities, we do bad activities also. While trying to achieve something, we cheat somebody, we kill somebody, we hurt somebody, we develop a lot of enmity towards somebody, with somebody so-called love is there. Mix bag we carry. So now, and we have got greed, we want more, so we accumulate karmas, we get good karma, so we get good material facility. Then we get attached. Oh, this is nice. Material world is nice. I want this. And we do more activities. And we do good activities, we do bad activities. For sins of bad activities, we get bad karma. Then we get disturbed. Sometimes we get good, happy, sometimes disturbed, sometimes happy. We somehow get adjusted to all this and we feel, oh, this is life. Okay, if there is unhappiness, fine. What can be done? Let's live life. Life is full of happiness and distress. Life is like that only. Let's enjoy whatever we can. Who has seen what happens after death? These are typical materialistic, typical atheist philosophies. Oh, then let's do whatever we want. Life छोटा ही है, अंत में तो राख होने वाली. Ultimately, everything will be ashes. So now we start developing this sort of philosophies about life. Material. It is all material conception. As I told, like we attach to our so-called sense enjoyment, we get attached to our paraphernalia of enjoying that senses, like our property, family, job, position, tools to achieve that means your job, tools, so-called our education degree. These are all tools to achieve so-called material happiness of sense enjoyment. Material happiness is essentially based on sense enjoyment. We have got 6 senses, 5 senses, knowledge acquiring senses. And of course, there are 15 senses, but mainly 5 senses through which we enjoy. For which, like touch, taste, hearing, sound, like that, smell. So we get attached to enjoying these senses. We keep developing a lot of complicated network. We want money to facilitate that. We earn money, but in that process, we end up creating bad karma. So the argument what I was making was, some people say that, oh, I'll do good karma, I'll get good result. I'll not do bad karma, I'll not get bad result. So where is the question of Lord? Who is Lord? Lord may be there, I'm independent. This is some philosophy. Some people say Lord is not there at all. That's what it is. That's atheism. But some people say, fine, Lord is there, but I'm not much. A majority of the degraded population, even in India also, things like that. Okay, degraded from our original Sanatan Dharma. Okay, fine, Lord is there. People go to temple also, do something there. Not really with the intention of developing the spiritual knowledge. They go with intention of doing some, I want this material opulence, this. Or sometimes people say, no, I don't want to go. I'm control of my own destiny. These are very popular approach people develop. I am the controller of my own destiny. Who is Lord? So like that, it's all, it goes on. The matter here is the thing, the thought process by so-called people here is, I will do my own karma, I'll do good karma, bad karma I'll not do, so I'll not get bad result, I'll continue my life. But that doesn't happen. That's what the point I'm making. Because the material world is made in such a way that while trying to achieve something for your, I mean, materially, you are going to have some crossroads or some clash of interest with somebody. You have to have some sins or some bad activities, bad karmas in this process, and there will be bad results, and then the cycle continues, and we don't know where we are going to be. That's why we develop all sort of shadvikaras, because due to our bad karmas, all the impressions, mind get attached. So it's all very complicated. We cannot get into too much nitty-gritties of analyzing karmic action reaction. That's not required. That's not our topic also. Devotee is not really much interested in understanding how karma, laws of karma work. No, they are not interested. Prabhupada never. Prabhupada said, fine. We should know that there is something like laws of karma, because we should be mindful of it. But the solution is important. Problem statement is clear, but solution is very clear for devotees. Cut these knots, cut this cycle of karmas, good or bad karma, both by devotion. Means what? How to cut that cycle of by devotion? So by devotion we get detached from this material life itself. The root itself is getting addressed. Root cause is getting addressed. What is the root cause here? Our root cause is we are attached to material life. In other way, other side of coin is means why? Because we are detached from Lord. Both are same. When you become detached from Lord, detached in the sense separated or departed from Lord's, our original relation, we get attached to material. And once we start getting more and more attached to material world, we are bound to get detached or separated from the Lord. Both are same, similar. So the thing is, we need to weigh and we need to start reducing our attachment to material world so that we start increasing our attachment to Lord. The more you start getting attached to Lord by process of devotion, your detachment to the material will come down, increase rather. Detachment will increase, mean attachment to the material world decreases. And this is a way we are going to continue. And some point of time, by Lord's mercy, we will cut down the knot of this material attachment, that is the sense enjoyment. So basically root cause is attachment to material world. That we have to come out. The whole Shastras are basically trying to systematically take us towards that detachment. Everybody cannot follow direct path of bhakti. Of course, direct path of bhakti is recommended for everybody, but some people may not have that, I will say sukruti, or that's so that people have to follow very simple, very in a very crude path, like dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Oh, slow by slow. Okay, enjoy sense, dharma, do your duties, artha, enjoy. I mean, earn money, kama, satisfy all your desire, and slowly we'll go to liberation. Then liberation, after liberation, we don't know when we are going to get devotion. It's all complicated, and although it's very looks simple, but it's all complicated. And actually, it is not meant for devotees. Bhagavatam discourages the dharma, artha, kama, moksha path. So fact, the matter of fact here is basically we need to develop that detachment to material world. So King Angad achieved this by blessings of Lord, of course, and he was thinking, oh, why it happened that I asked for a good son, I got a son, but he's turned out to be bad son. Does Lord know this? Doesn't know this? Yes, Lord knows that. He was knowing that it is Lord's plan. He took it that way. It's probably Lord's plan to bring me that liberation platform to get attached to Lord. And he took it that way, and which is right thing. So many stories, Puranas, Bhagavatam stories also are basically see that ultimately that particular soul has gone to the stage of detachment. Dhruva Maharaj, the story which we are continuing itself is say, Dhruva Maharaj started with material attachment little bit as a Kshatriya and being a very young boy. but ultimately he went to Vaikuntha. By seeing the Lord, doing a lot of austerity, he enjoyed his kingdom also, so-called material enjoyment, so-called material kingdom, but he was completely detached. Although he had a kingdom, he wanted kingdom, he became morose because he was not having kingdom. He saw the Lord, he forgot about his kingdom. Lord still giving the kingdom, he ruled the kingdom very piously, very perfectly as a devotee, and he developed a detachment towards that kingdom. Not only kingdom, detachment towards the whole material life. And got liberated, not only liberated, he went to Vaikuntha planet by Lord's mercy. Perfect example. So the point here is, Lord, through his material energies, may give us the material opulences if we desire so, and he feels so. So Lord has to sanction our good or bad karma, even though on material platform. We may be atheist, we may be devotee, we may be semi, we may be these, the all sort of categories of people. Lord has to sanction. Lord will sanction. Lord will sanction. Only Lord will sanction our karmic actions. In neutral case, okay, it will be driven by our karmas. But if we are getting attached to Lord, if we are becoming even the slight devotion to Lord, slight attachment to Lord, he will take charge in a very different way. In what way? Because he will give us all those so-called material opulences in such a way that we will have that material opulences, but at the end of that, at the end of the life, or we will feel like detached from all these material opulences. We will not feel like, oh, there is nothing there. There is much more better thing, that is Lord's devotion. That is the way Lord will work for devotees. Or I'm not talking about very advanced devotees. We're talking about very initial startup devotees also. Because Lord is there to help us. Otherwise, we cannot fight with Maya by our own. So, King Anga developed that consciousness, and Lord reciprocated in this way. So, of course, we should not think always negatively that, oh, something will happen. Lord will give us the material benefits, material opulences also. Provided our tendency while asking that material opulences also should be with the knowledge that this is all material life. Since I have got uncontrolled desires to enjoy this material world, I am asking this, but our consciousness should be, first of all, we should not ask. We should say no. But then we are driven by so much uncontrolled lust. So we may ask, but slowly, if you keep developing the knowledge in the association of devotees, you stop asking all this. But even though sometimes, as based on our advancements in devotion, we may ask some material opulences, we should know that ultimately it's very temporary thing. Basically, knowing that material happiness is temporary, spiritual happiness permanent. Knowing that material body is temporary, spiritual body means our original constitutional position is permanent. Knowing that so-called material whole thing is temporary, like that. So by knowledge, we can develop that detachment very fast. And of course, once we start following the sadhana bhakti, that detachment also will come. And then, of course, under the guidance of our guru, under the guidance of devotees, Lord's mercy will follow. And the cycle will be drifting towards the Lord's love, Lord's devotion, Lord's service. But there's a process. So we should understand this process. We should understand why it is happening with us, what is happening with us, what is karma. Understanding by knowledge is very important, so that it catalyzes our spiritual progress. So knowledge, so there is always a discussion, knowledge or devotion, knowledge or devotion. So knowledge will catalyze our progress of our devotion. Although if somebody may not have any knowledge, but still he may develop devotion. Just by chanting, he can just surpass all this. That's very rare thing. We should put effort in developing that knowledge, understanding knowledge, and then of course chanting is there, which will actually deliver us. So it's all both-way process. So Bhagavatam, when we are listening the stories, beautiful stories, katha, we are gaining that knowledge that, oh, these laws of karmas are there. What happened to King Anga? What happened to Lord Amis? What happened to Dhruva Maharaj? What happened to this demon? He became devotee. What happened devotee? He became called out. Whatever it may be. Ultimately the aim is to not depart from Lord's. Lord will ensure that. And we should put ourselves in that position first as a very prima facie, as a very basic thing. We should put ourselves in that position at this lotus feet of Lord with the help of devotees that please take care of me. When I say take care of me, spiritually. Materially, anyway, is taking care of us. We don't have to ask them further. Asking material taking care means like, it's a foolishness. Lord will take care of. Lord is already taking. Lord is taking care of atheists also. Lord is taking care of demons also. Lord is taking care of animals also. Why not you? So asking Lord something to take care, we keep doing that, but it's not required. Lord knows what is good. What we should be putting in that position is, please, I am surrendering to you, and whatever you do is good for me, and I'll go by that. That's the surrender. Now, we should start developing that. Basically, it's all about developing the consciousness of surrender to Lord more and more, so that there is a complete surrender. Prabhupada, complete surrender. He did not worried about, oh, I'll go to Western world without much money and without much material possessions around to take care. He just surrendered, and something very great thing came out, unparalleled thing came out. Why? Because he was complete surrender. So that Prabhupada, Acharyas are teaching us by their example. We cannot imitate them, but we can at least follow to whatever circle of in our life. So basically, King Anga developed that detachment. He left the life. He left the family, left his kingdom suddenly. That's the impact. That's the impact of devotion to Lord, or rather detachment from the material world. Anyway, further story says, as expected, King Vena was not a good person, demonic person. Then ultimately he was killed by Brahmins, Brahminical order, and then from his body, another Prutu Maharaj was, sort of created. So that's a very different story. It's not part of today's discussion, but the point here is, the key message Prabhupada is writing in his purport is very clearly, basically, Lord gives us the material opulences, but if he gives us the detachment from this material life, that is the biggest benediction we can expect from the Lord. Why? Because that's going to solve our problem permanently. It's the biggest benefit. So when you go to Lord and ask something, we should ask. First of all, we should not ask anything, but even though we have to have some ask, we should say that please give us that detachment. Please give us that detachment from this material world. Rest is taken care. So King Anga developed that detachment. Now, one may ask the question, this very important question. One may ask, this doubt may come to most of our mind. How do I know that my laws of karmic actions are playing some role? While suppose I get something good or bad, say bad. Suppose something, not very palatable thing happens, some unhappy things happen, or some bad things happens to us, or even good things happen to us. How do I know that? Is it due to my own karmic action? Because that is also there, that is going on. Even though we are slowly becoming devotees, karmic actions are there. It's not that we started devotion and then karma phalas are taken completely out. No, it depends on our surrender to Lord. And definitely we are not at a position of 100% surrender. So obviously karmic things are, karmic laws are playing role. And of course, as Shastra says, and as discussed, Lord is taking care of us. We can see the Lord's intervention slowly in the life of devotee. How do I know? Is it due to Lord's intervention or some particular karmic, some reaction, some incidents happened? How do you know it is due to Lord's intervention or it is due to my karma? That's very complicated topic, but it's not complicated in the sense if you understand basic principle that if by suppose something bad happens to any, if we are in that incidence, something bad happens to it in that incident, if we are drifting, if we are going towards Lord more and more, if we are developing the devotion more and more, detachment with material world more and more, and attachment to Lord more and more, then it means definitely we should understand what Lord is intervening. Lord is, it's Lord's mercy on us. Intervening means mercy. If something bad happens or something good also happens, and if we are drifting towards going away from the Lord or going away from the devotion and becoming more and more attached to the material world, then it definitely due to our karma. Even though it is good or bad, because good karma will give good result, which will make attached to that so-called good fruits of that result and will attach to sense enjoyment. That is again problem. And if something bad happens to us and we become sort of rebellion to Lord, rebellion to, oh no, why it happened to my case? No, I don't believe into all this, like that. Agonistic, or many people happens like that. Even in our case also, sometimes if something bad happens, we say, no, why Lord would have done that? I'm doing so much for them, like that. But whatever it may be, if we are going away from the spiritual, devotional service of the Lord, then it is due to karmas, your own karmas. But if you are irrespective of good or bad, similarly, if we are irrespective of good or bad, both happens to you, and if you are feeling like, yeah, something good happened, I am utilizing that good resources, whatever I got in Lord's service, then definitely you are getting attached to Lord. That's good. Even though something bad happens, but if you say, no, it is Lord's plan, and it's good that Lord saved me from all this Maya. And we never know Lord's plan. We never know how things work, because something so-called bad, so-called good, ultimately turn out to be bad or good. Depends. We come to know later only. This happens in day-to-day experience, day-to-day life. We see that, oh, something bad happened to me. Later on, we come to know, oh, it's good that it didn't happen to me. Otherwise, I would have been in trouble, like that. Whatever it may be. But ultimately, the point here is, if we go towards Lord more and more, our surrender increases, our attachment to devotees, Lords and Shastras and all this overall devotional bhakti yoga increases, then it means, yeah, it is Lord's mercy on me. And whatever good or bad happens, that's good for me. So that faith increases, Shraddha. The more and you get experience, we get realization, oh, this happened to me. Definitely it happened due to this. And then you are no more, have any doubt that Lord will take care of me as a devotee. And that firm faith increases. And once you increase Shraddha, what else we want? Then everything can be addressed. If you have got firm faith, Shraddha. So, and then of course, next steps comes, you get attached to Lord. That it's very higher stages. We are not discussing that. But our faith increases. So we should understand from the King Ganga story also. Prabhupada explained nicely that detachment to Lord is more important than getting material opulence from the Lord or his, whole material energy. And we should have always have this consciousness or desire to go in this way, not otherwise. That, oh, I'll ask material opulences from the Lord and then slowly get detached and then get lost into all this. That should not be our conscious. If that is coming out, we should be careful. That is what fall down means, slowly. So very nice story. So otherwise, two slokas are just like is ending the 13th chapter. But the essential thing is King Anga leaves the whole family, and then of course citizen, because he was very good king, citizen become little bit distracted, distressed, and they tell this to the saintly people there or brahmanas there. Oh, king left us. And then further story continues. So this is the, of course, one important point Prabhupada also mentioned in second sloka of today is basically there is a comparison of their citizens are trying to search for the king Anga and he did not get it, and it is compared to the yogi who is trying to find out uh, super soul only in himself. I mean, that's Prabhupada brings that Lord is everywhere. Lord is available in the form of Brahman, Jyoti, as well as super soul, as well as Bhagwan itself. So we should not. So that's very Prabhupada mentions that point that we should not always think Lord only at okay, it's only in my heart. Or we should understand by knowledge that all there are three features of the Lord, Brahma, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. And especially Bhagwan feature also we should try to understand, uh, which is basically full of all opulences and which is attractive to naturally, we are naturally attracted to Bhagwan features. So Prabhupada brings that point here. That's more of a philosophical point. But this is the story till now. And the next shlokas mentions about King Vena and then what happens to him and all that. Anyway, so this was today's discussion, and thanks for your time, all the duties. And I can see we are honored by, blessed by His Grace Uttam Damodar Prabhuji's presence also here. And I would like to, I will request Prabhuji to further enlighten us on putting some more points, and if there is some correction needed, please do that, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. And then we'll go
Hare
to
Krishna, Prabhu.
question answer session if
Hare
anything.
Krishna, Prabhu. Very nice explanation. Very importantly, Srila Prabhupada says, searching of the super soul. So that's very nicely that you put it across to them. I think there's no correction or any mistake where you spoke about, because you spoke from the Shastras. It's coming in the Parampara. And very nicely explained. So it is very important. Thank you very much once again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks, Prabhuji. And any questions, comments from the devotees? We'll take one or two questions, comments, and then we'll close the session for today.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Mataji.
It was a very enlightening session, especially on the fact that how material opulence and detachment should go hand in hand. And you gave so many examples and reiterated that fact. So this was my takeaway from today's class. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thanks,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So if there are no further questions and comments, then we will close the session for today. And thanks once again for all of you, and His Grace Uttam Damodar Prabhuji also to spare your time in the morning. It's working day today. So thanks for that, and then keep coming on this platform to hear release the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam every day. So Hare Krishna. We'll close the session today.
Hare Krishna.
Antara
Hare
Srimad
Krishna, Prabhu.
Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare
Jai.
Krishna.